So about Austrian economics, for people who think that economics is all about like math and numbers and predictions, one of the basic difference that I see is that Austrian economics emphasizes that economics is a human process. It's about decision making. And some people say, but wait a minute, that's too simple. Economics has to be more logical, more mathematical, right?
Right. Yes, and that's the big difference between mainstream economics, or in some ways it's called neoclassical economics, and Austrian economics is just what does it center on. In the essay that you mentioned that I did for the Foundations of Free Society, that's one of the things I traced down to the philosophic roots of what is their conception of value, what is their conception of the good. Mm-hmm. And so for von Mises, it's human action, which is goal-directed human action. So we as humans, we come up with goals, and then we try to figure out plans to achieve our goals. So his whole economics is about describing how does that process work out in the economic realm.
Yeah.
But that drops out of mainstream economics. They are more centered on an equilibrium framework, and that's where the math comes in. So it's just about how do we mathematically solve for what all the prices are, what all the quantities are, and then that's the equilibrium level of whatever for the economy or for any particular product. Now, what I think the big difference is that for von Mises, this process of humans achieving goals, conceiving goals and seeking goals, mm-hmm. is that it involves knowledge. So when you conceive a goal, that's something you think about. You think about like what would be good for me to pursue, what would be a good goal, what would add to my life. And then once you have a goal, that becomes a problem to solve. That's something that you want to achieve. Well, how do you do that? So then it's a thinking process of, well, how do I pull together a plan that will help me to achieve that goal? So it's all involving the thinking process of how to do that. And so his whole economics is centered on that thinking process. For the mainstream economics, that drops out completely. So it's just, for them, one of their main assumptions is all knowledge is given. So we know all the products that are possible. We know all the scientific and technological things we could do. We know the value of all the products, how they're useful to us. So the only thing left to do is just to run a mathematical algorithm to say, okay, well, what are the prices and quantities? So there's no rational creative thought process in there. It's just mathematical algorithm. You just deduce the answers. So for von Mises, you've left out the essence of what human action is about. That's the essence of our lives as humans is we're conceiving goals and we're pursuing goals. So mainstream economics takes no account of that.
Now,